Traders, Brian here with the weekend update for the week ahead of 10 to 14 June 2024. Let's get right into it. All right, so currently I'm retooling all of the stats. I've collected thousands and thousands of observations of our favorite strategies that have helped build my models out. So now I'm going to be shifting over to the next phase of this, which is taking the actual setups on the higher time frame, the entries on the entry chart, and pulling out the maximum favorable and adverse excursions from those trades. And I'm only going to be doing that in the time periods that I've analyzed where the most liquid, where the most volatility occurs, where the largest ranges are, and where the key participants are at. So that's for the NQ, that's 9:45 to 11:30, and from 1400 in the afternoon to 1600, which is all Eastern Standard Time. Okay, so set up some keyed in on next week. Again, here I'll jump right to the area of focus and improvement, and I've got to focus on the higher time frame setups. That's the key to Optimus's success, and the key to me semi-automating Optimus and getting that model better. So the higher time frame John Wick, which should trigger the semi-auto entry on a B4 jiggle that we have set up as an entry mechanism. The trigger line trade, which is a long-term entry on the entry chart. And then I will occasionally be trading the top and bottom strategy. I'll be doing manual entries for those. Less focus on this. I want to really focus on the semi-automated trade capability for Optimus next week. All right, I'm not going to go through all of this right here. The current templates, these are currently what we use. Markers users up top, non-markers users on the bottom. And what I will say is that I did drop the most recent Optimus template into the general chat. I am not going to officially post that until I get the entry mechanism worked out. Okay, and that might take me a couple of weeks to get it the way I want it. So I'll update it, but I mean, you got what you got in that general chat section. It's under revision every day, every trading night. So and I probably won't drop the latest version up every night that I make a tweak to it. I'll wait till I get it really close to where I want it, and then I'll put an updated version out there. So anyway, use it at your own risk. If you're good with markers, you'll be able to go in there and figure it out and make it work for you. But please do it in sim first, some type of sim environment, before you go in there completely jack up an eval account or blow a funded account and then blame Optimus for us. I'm telling you up front, it's not the entry mechanisms have not been tested yet. So let's go ahead and pull over some charts, and let's take a look at what we are going to be looking at. I'm only going to go over one aspect of this. We're going to make this quick. I've been doing a lot of research this weekend, so I'm making this quick, and we'll move on out. Okay, I've gone through, there's several things I could click through, but this one chart here has a sampling of everything I'm looking at. So I'm going to be absolutely razor focused on the higher time frame. That's where the setups are. So we have a more sketchy John Wick right here. This is a critical bar. You'll hear me talk about those in the room. That bar is critical. It could go either way. The higher time frame hasn't pinched, but we can and you can tell it's a critical bar because Optimus recognizes it at a critical bar. Longer term potential entry and a short term B4 jiggle. And that's what I mean by critical bars. Optimus absolutely defines those with arrows on both sides, and it can go either way. I can't eliminate that because that in and of itself is where I stand on the market, and I think that's a beautiful explanation of when you hear me say that where this bar closes here is absolutely critical to potentially where it's going to next. So What I am looking for are these pullbacks here right to the to and into the trigger line, and I've got Optimus over here set up to look for at least 7 of these down closes in this bullish environment, and that usually gets us into the trigger line, and then Optimus fires. He gets in at this second up close, puts you in, probably up to 2 ticks higher than that right there, for that run up. All right, so we're looking for that. Here is a good potential. It starts out as a John Wick short and ends up being a B4 jiggle. So anytime these at least close 1 bar higher, it turns into a it will bridge between the B4 jiggle. It's B4 jiggle here on the higher time frame, but it's going to be, if it gets 7 bars over here, you can't really see it, but it's going to trigger a higher time frame entry mechanism. Nice move down right there. Here is what I'm really looking for, to get into these trigger lines and then turn Optimus loose, for the higher time frame entry, which is yellow arrow. All right, and then we get another one of my favorite setups. I love these right here. You got to take them every time. The John Wick on the higher time frame. Right after a turn, it comes back up, tests this sweep, and it sweeps this area right here, and you get the B4 jiggle entry down. So blue up arrows equal B4 jiggles. Lime up arrows equal higher time frame trigger line trades. All right. Yellow down arrows equal higher time frame trades, which are the trigger line trades. And then it's hard to see it. It's nestled right up under there, but that's a red or a deep pink. I forget which one I have right there. Red or deep pink down arrow, and that's the B4 jiggle on the entry chart. John Wick on the higher time frame. Now what I've got set up here in the entry mechanisms, what I have to work out is I have 2 markers plus modules loaded, and I have one labeled as markers jiggle and markers long term. So I'm just going to go in here and just manually trade this. It's simple enough. When I see the setup, I either flip one or both. It's only going to enter probably one of those. Most of them are, I will not enter the B4 jiggle over here if I see this thing coming up into the trigger lines. That's a long-term trade, and I'll just trigger the short, the short button right there. It's nothing's set up right now. So and then back over here, when I see the pull back, that's a longer-term setup right there. I've got more than 7 bars, so I'll just trigger the long-term long and let markers do his thing. Okay, that's all I want to cover right now. I'm getting Optimus closer and closer to where I want him. Still got many weeks to go before I think I get it where it needs to be, but we're getting closer and closer. All right, that's it. I hope to see you guys at the opening bell.